Hey, hello, let's get started. So, sorry, I just had some Turkish delight, so it's sticking in my mouth. 1 second. Mm. Yeah, so, well, my background is not that great, the lighting. Let me see if I can fix it, otherwise we'll just stay with it. Okay. My face is super bright right now. Okay, so, um, yeah, Python Zero to Heroes is Sunday afternoon again. So this week, we're gonna talk about the type hinting, Python type hinting. It's something that I'm trying recently, with the Python client that I was developing, and yeah, I think like by doing, by working on the Python client, I realized that there's actually advantage of using type hinting, and so that's why I want to really like try to start implementing that. And so today we're going to talk about the benefits of it and how to use it in, like, let's say documentations, and also use it in the checking. So it's kind of like you can use it together with like your linting. So kind of make sure that everything's okay. Just have a cleaner code to work with. Just have a better code. Integrity, I would say. Mm. So yeah. So let's get started. So right. This is the war of what we have learned. It's getting more and more. I think I have to break into two columns, maybe soon, because I'm reaching the bottom of it, and I don't think that there's more spaces for it. So, yeah. So last time we were talking about some other like packaging, how to upload things on PyPI, and how actually PyPI works, like how you download things, how you pip install things, and also we talk about how to you know package it, build a wheel and then upload it. So yeah, we just gotta move on and learn more stuff. Right. So what is type hinting? So type hinting is actually this is what I found on real Python. Sorry, I'm just kind of in the middle of eating something because I feel really really peckish just before I started, and I really need to quickly get some sugar. So yeah, it's actually started introduced in Python 3.5, but there's already like some discussion before. So it's introduced in PAP for H4. So by the way, what is PAP? So PAP is so Python improvement proposal. So it's basically if some so usually when there are new features that or new things that are added to Python, before it would usually come with a PAP. That is basically people have a lot of discussion about how to improve Python. People propose new changes, and there will be like enough discussion before it's really added in Python. So this is how Python works. Is I would say this kind of quite democratic. About a decision of like all the users would sit together and talk about what to implement. So in 3.5, and actually this was added, is the type hinting. So this is the syntax of it. Is actually quite straightforward. I think for me at the beginning it kind of like very strange to look at because um, you just need to take a while to get used to. So after the parameters, you can have a colon and then str there to say that is a string. It could be other things like integer or like or even it could be a class object. Okay, and then it means that this function will return a string. So yeah, this is an example that I get from PAP 8, sorry, PAP for H4. Um, yeah, so there's like a whole lot of things that you can read about this type hinting or type annotation, sometimes refer how we refer to it. So this is the syntax and how you could use it. And of course, it got more like complicated afterwards. So you can actually import other like type, you know, uh, different types from the typing, which is a standard library. So you have all these different type of objects in it that you could use. You could also make a vector of another type, so yeah, or like a triple of that or a triple of that, and so it's quite sophisticated. You could get quite sophisticated. So today I'm just gonna go through the basics. I'm not going to dive so deep because I'm not using it like I'm not going to that deep yet myself. So I won't go to like that far. Um, yeah, but I think occasionally I would see like people writing things like that, like using type hinting, and I know what it is. I'm not scared of it, but it's just like when I really want to know what's going on, I have to really like look up. So yeah, this is like quite a big proposal there. You can read it. I'm not going to go through them all. There's also this stuff. So yeah, this is actually quite a big thing there. You can you have the stuff, so you could import. Yeah. So I'm not going to go through all of them. I think it would take another tutorial to go through all of these proposals, and I'm not using them yet. So we could revisit it in the future to go to like what deeper subject. But I think for now I'm just going to give an introduction. Like everything else, that I'm just gonna briefly talk about it. Okay. So um, why do we use type hinting? So one of the things like, well, why do we have to change our code? Why do we do that? Because so that's one thing very special about Python. Or like because maybe not special, but like what Python is different from other programming language like C or C++ is that as Python is dynamic, so all the variables actually can hold any kind of variable. So it's not just because like in C, you have to actually declare what this variable, what type of like variable this is. So you have to tell that when you create the variable, you have to actually tell like, oh, is it a double, which is like a double, it's actually a decimal number, but it's like double, like compared to float, it's like double the size. Integer or signed integer or unsigned integer, like there's lots of different types that you have to declare before you started writing using that variable. So but in Python it's not the case. It's actually make things super simple by not having it, but it would like when you assign a variable in when you assign something to that variable, that it would have a type. Okay. So this is actually under the hood is because Python, everything is an object. So actually yeah, everything is an object, and then for that object, what attribute that it has to like kind of determine what type that object is. So that's another topic, but like that's fascinating nature of Python. But actually there's a little drawback, is that well, being so flexible is good when you write a small program. It makes things very easy, especially for beginners. They don't have to, one of the trouble learning C or C++, I found it quite tedious, is that you have to declare this type beforehand, and it just makes things very hard. So, but the drawback is that when you are writing a big program, that when you're collaborating with people, then you have to be sure that all these part matches, because for example, if this function is actually expecting a parameter of string, and then if you give it an integer, then yeah, things may break because of that. Or if you're expecting a dictionary, and then you would get a key inside, but actually someone put in something else, a string, then well, it will create some errors. I faced it a lot when I was writing the Python client, that well, what type it should be, because like in JavaScript it's also not it's also dynamic. So sometimes when I'm trying to translate the code from JavaScript to Python, I was like, what type of this thing is, and can I assume that is a dictionary? Can I create the dictionary like method there? Yeah. So yeah, I think like that's the drawback of being so dynamic. So we kind of need to find a middle ground of like not making things super hard for people to code, but there's a way for really extra check on the type that matches if you're writing a big program. So they have proposed this type hinting in PAP 4H4, and the good thing about it is that like in some IDEs, we'll talk about that later, that it will actually take this type, actually, because like remember we declare the type of it somewhere, right? So we declare the type of it here. This is an example. So some IDE actually would recognize this name actually being a string, and it would check whether like is in the later in the program that inside this function is used as a string. Okay, so if you call like, let's say, name dot I don't know, like some maybe name plus one, some operations that assume that is not a string, then we can check the problem before we execute it. So yeah, so this is so IDE will give you a hint, and also there are type checkers that could check whether the things are consistent. Okay. So yeah, so I found this like very good answer in Stack Overflow that actually have a very very detailed explanation of it. So I will go through some of the explanation here, and also we'll do some hands-on on the type checker itself. Okay. So why type hinting? So well, we have briefly talked about that. So this is like just bullet points. So first, well, if we write it, like the example before that, we declare the type of those parameters and all those functions, then we can use type checker to check whether things are consistent. Okay, so we can check whether like I said, the name, which is declared as a string, is used as a string. Okay, so if any problem that happened, that we would get the type checker would let us know. So before we execute the whole function, that we may found a bug like really late, like even at a stage that when a user use it, then which is a big no-no. You want to check all of these like beforehand. So that's why we use type hinting. We declare the type of the variable, and we use type checker to check it. Okay. Another thing is that we could actually use it in the documentation. So I also show that you can, if you're using Autodoc with Sphinx, by adding an extension, that basically you can also include the type of the variables in your generated doc. So which makes things very easy, because remember a few weeks ago when I talked about documentation, so usually when you write, you would write that's the what what is the expected type of this variable, and what would this return, what this function will return, right? So you have to write it explicitly in a docstring, but with this type hinting and with the Sphinx extension, then you could actually just generate it automatically, skipping one step. Okay, because you already did it in the type hinting. And also some idea, like I said, is it would actually recognize those type hinting, and then it would just give you hints and help you to debug, inside. So it's good. If you really need type hinting, you can choose an IDE that work with it, like PyCharm. I would go a little bit like further later. So um, so why do we want a static type checkers? Like, because well, like I said before, that there are actually advantage of using dynamic type, which is it's very easy for beginners to use. They don't have to worry too much about declaring the type when they create a variable. And but sometimes the drawback is that when you really need to be sure, when you're having a complex project with people, then you have to have static type. Okay. So good thing is like you can find a bug sooner. Like I said, if you use type checker, then you can actually catch all these bugs before it could slip through, like pass all your tests and slip through and be delivered to a user. That's a big no-no, in my opinion, because well, it's not the end of the world. We can release a patch, but I always think that yeah, if it will save you a lot of problems if you can find the bug sooner, or even like it won't create a very nasty bug, which take you hours to debug. Okay. Um, so yeah, the larger the project, the more you need it, because the consistency, right? So sometimes even if you are not doing it with a big team, but sometimes you forgot what you have done before, and you have to like, oh wait a second, what type am I assuming here? So you have to double check, maybe this is a variable from another function, and like you have to dig through the chain of calls and to find the type. So yeah, like I like the Python client that, like I said, because we have a gigantic query in there, so I want to be sure that what type we are expecting. Okay. So yeah, again, like large teams, because you're sharing the work with people, and sometimes it involves like reading a lot of code that's not written by you, and it's kind of a way of communication of like labeling what type I'm expecting. Um, but again, this is optional. This is totally optional. If you don't write type hinting, you'll still be fine. Um, but it's just like it's recommended to use it if you have a big project, and but it won't affect the execution. If you have used the type hinting and like never never really called a type checker, it will still be executable, but the point of it is like you write it and use the type checker, right? So but yeah, like it's optional. So the type checker, there's like two of them that are popular. The first, the most popular one is MyPy, in my opinion, because basically, people, if you talk about like, MyPy type checking, then everybody knows what you're talking about. We're gonna try to use it today in our project. We'll see how it goes. Actually, it's my first time using it. Like I said, I started to implement it, so I have not really integrated in yet. So I'm gonna do that today to see whether it goes well or it goes very bad. So I don't know. And PyType is actually done by Google. I think I've seen it a few times in a conference. Someone was talking about PyType. There are some advantage of using it. There are some people who like it, and I think their selling point. I've read it yesterday that the selling point is that they would have a a they would guess it. I think if you kind of skip it. I don't like. Where do I read it? I kind of forgot. Installing usage. Yeah, I think there's some like deduction there that it would automatically uh did deduce something. I think and his general type notation. Yeah. So there's some advantage. That's why people like it. But I think MyPy is still the most popular one nowadays. But it's yeah, you can have a look. I'm not going to dive too deep in it. Right. And IDE. So okay, so far I dig through it a little bit. So PyCharm is the one that actually provide annotation. So it would check it. I use Atom, so I do a little bit of like searching and see. So there's a link to MyPy. So basically let you run MyPy in Atom, okay? And a Magic Python would do some highlighting for your type hinting. Yeah, but I'm not very keen on using them actually with IDEs. I think because like I don't need to have a link to MyPy in my Atom. I'll just run MyPy. I think that's good enough, hopefully. Um, so there's also another thing called PyWrite. So it's used with VS Code. So yeah, maybe check it out if you use VS Code. I think that's quite popular as well. So yeah, that's quite good. And yeah, I just realized that today my frame rate is quite bad. I don't know why. Maybe because of my bloody my bloody VPN again. So hopefully that's not too bad. Yeah, because yeah, I got some like yeah, so it's like kind of like a sine curve-ish. So it's got good and it got bad after a while. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I have to really like remember to switch off my VPN when I'm doing this. Well, too late now. Let's move on. So also, like I said, you can generate docs with it. So this is how you do that. Yeah, it's like the light was flashing green and red when I'm streaming. So yeah, it's just going good or bad. So yeah, I may actually make this episode shorter because the internet is really bad for some reason. Okay, so there is a plugin called Spain's Autodoc type-ins. But yeah, actually, if we have a look, that it would show that it would just do like just skip one step when you're writing the doc string, so it helps you too. So this is how we do it before, right? So well, this is Google style, but that is how we do it before that. We have to declare, the this is a string, and then we return a string. But if you use the type hinting and with that extension, you could yeah, you can skip that. You skip what it is, and it would just do it. It would generate the same thing. So basically, you can skip some of the information. It would draw it from the type hinting. So compatibility. I don't know whether it is compatible with the NumPy style. I'm not sure. I have to really like look deeper with it. Napoleon. Yeah, so I'm using Napoleon extension, so maybe it works with this as well. So well, maybe it was worth a try that I'm using this for yeah. So maybe I can try. Not I don't think I would do it live, but I would try it offline, and I will let you know what's going on. So basically, you just add it in like this in your config file, config.py. Of course, you have to install it first, but yeah, this is how you do it. So yeah, what else? So I think that's the general overview of type hinting. So what we gotta do now is that we gotta try using MyPy. So let's go to our lab. It's like yeah, it's like in schools we go to our lab, and our lab is white because Atom is not cooperating. So I have to yep bring it up. So let me try to go back to the um, go to the docs of my pipe. I hope this is like big enough, but well, um, but it's like a small window on the top left, so top right, so you may not be able to see it. And I don't like it when I not focusing on atom, you just go blank white. I don't know why, but hey. Okay, so first of all, I think I have to install it. So let me run the pip install thing in my terminal first. And right, okay, I really hate it when it become white behind my back. So right, I'm in the environment. I'm trying to install it, and so yeah, let me show you the script that I have type hinted. So it's not this one; it's the new script that is here. So right, this is type hinted. Not all of them, but most of them. You see that I've done some type hinting here, and some of them is yeah, I've got this thing, and so yeah, let's see what happens. Cause like I don't know whether you have to type in everything for my pipe. We will see. We'll see. So right. So now you can see that I've installed my pipe here. So let's try it. Um, so I just my pipe and then like put the thing there. Okay. So let me try to do that. Right. I got so many things. I think is in so okay my pi, and then it should be terminus client, inside should be Waco query, yep, and then it should be the smart query. Yep, let's try see what's going on. Okay, it's kind of, I hope it's working. It's kind of frozen there for a bit. Right, so um, yeah, so you can see that I've added them in, but it looks a bit weird when you have these, when you have some default value there. I don't know how to space it. I think I haven't run black on this one yet, so maybe, yeah, I could reformat it to see how it looks like, because this looks a bit weird for me. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Huh, that's interesting, because like there's nothing showing. There, super weird. And also I realized that I'm not, yeah, because like halfway when I was doing this, and let's see if I can resume that. So what's going on here is that I have run my pipe on the code, and yeah, and then I got a bunch of errors to here. I think while we were waiting the error, I kind of lost you somehow. Yeah, like I think it's my VPN. So now I have no problem connecting. So I think it's my VPN that actually caused the problem there. Sorry about that. I don't know like who is coming back for this, but I'm just doing it for the video. I hope it's like the frame rate is not too bad before for the recording before. I don't know. I don't want to do it again right now because yeah. So I think it's the VPN that drags it so low. So now it's perfectly fine. So what I was doing, I think I watched the video a little bit before. So what I was doing is actually yeah, I show you the code that is with the annotation here, and I have run my Python on it. I got some error. I got it on. So this is the new run. So before I got the error on 942 here that it should be optional string because label could be a none. So if it's a none, then it would not be a string. So that's why it's complaining that. So I've added the optional here in typing, and I've change it. So now 43 is not a problem anymore. So let's do one more. So smart queries. This is the file that I'm looking at right now. Yeah, it's the same error on 52, so it's also optional string that it should be. So hmm. Yep, description same. Like if description is a none, then it will give a none. So yeah, so I'll do this. Okay. Or what I could do is like, what I could do actually is, let's say I will stick with a star. So this is why type checking is so good, because for example, if it's none, I want to return an empty string, so I don't need this optional actually. So what I want to do is that, like for line 43 here, that I would do a if label is none, return an empty string. So now it should pass, okay? So I would do the same for the for here. So if description is none, then return an empty string. So this is type hinting is so useful here. If I want to not return none, then this actually basically check it for me. That is, if I want to stay with like always be a string, then this will work. So yeah. So now 43 and the error of 43 and 52 is gone. So Waco client is not defined because I misspelled it. It's 9121. So let's go there. 121. Right, yeah, this one should be out. So it also do some like basic checking. So this would, I would basically be able to catch it when I run some test on it, but I think I have not, or linter would also catch that, but I think I have not done that yet, so that's why. Too many arguments for connect. Right. 122 dot connect. So okay, so it's complaining about the Waco client. So I will look at this afterwards because this is not necessary type hinting. Need type annotation for classes. So what's going on here? 126. Okay, so self.classes is a it's a dictionary. So why is that? It's like need type annotation. Yeah. Okay, so I want to declare what is store. So it's kind of like hinting me that I should really tell what is stored inside this dictionary. So I should really do a type hinting here. So for classes, actually, what I would have is that it's a dictionary with a type and a type. So what I do is I've got to add a dictionary here. So this is all from typing. So from typing, there are lots of things you can import. So basically, these are all things that could help you to deal with all the different type hints. So for example, union here. So union, I use it. So kind of like saying that, oh, it could be this type or that type. So can I find an example here? Let me see. I think it's like for the property here. Add property. Nope. Where did I put it though? I forgot. Yeah, here union. So it could be either a string or a Waco class. So that's why I use union here. Also list, it will be a list. Dictionary will be a dictionary. So I'm using dictionary for now at 9122. So you would have a look what this is for. So okay, so I should do this here. Self classes need to be declared the type. So maybe when I declare self classes, then I do this. So sorry, I'm scrolling too much. I know it's difficult to look at. Sorry about that. Oh, it's not here. Why? Who? I haven't initialized it. Is it? Oh my god, this is so messy. Not proud of it. Not proud of it. Um, if not existing. Oh, so this is at init. Okay, fine. Of terminus db. So I'm looking at the wrong thing. So the classes, it would need to be a dictionary. Okay, and the type of it would be. So this would be a string. For the key. Okay, because it would be the class, and the next one should be, the next one should be the Waco, I think Waco class. Okay, So now this one would work, hopefully. So let's try. Oops. Okay. 1, 2, 2, too many no. So 1, 2, 3 has no attribute class. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Sorry. 1, 3, 3. Yeah, it also catches the typo for you, which is super handy. So, okay, so I think I've solved all the type hinting problem in this script, and this is the only script that has type hinting for now. So, yeah. So you can see that yeah, this is how we use the type checker. And so typing, actually you got a lot of things to push. I forgot to talk about typing. I don't know how, but let me talk a little bit about it while I'm here. So Python typing. So typing is a basically a library to support type hinting. So you can import, like I said, lots of things. Like list would be actually, you can declare that is a list of something. So let me go back to this so it's bigger to see. Oh, and also that one is, oh, why it doesn't show up? Sorry about that. Let me, yeah, I think because I restart OBS because, yeah, I have to close it for some reason because of the streaming problem. So let me see if I can change it there. Right, okay, so now you can see. Yeah, so a list is basically saying that vector should be a list or float, or you can change it, or it could be integer or double, and yeah, so it's a list of float. And so yeah, you have declared a new type, a vector, and then now you can use it somewhere. So basically, this is how you create a new type. There's a list, okay. Yeah, you can also create a dictionary. Like I said, this would be the key. This would be the values of it, and also a triple would be like what's the two things, first thing and second thing, and yeah. So this is also creating a new type that is called user ID, and it's an integer. So yeah, there's a lot of things here that I actually not very keen to cover all of them right now. And so callable. So what should we do now? We have like more or less like 15 minutes. So I'm thinking maybe because the documentation take a while to set up. I don't know whether I could do it within 15 minutes, but we could try. So let's go here and check this out. Oh, I already did. Okay, so it's here. I'm sorry, it's here. And yeah, I just need to install it, and then I just need to use it in the docs. But the problem is that um I haven't opened the doc for the smart query yet, so I have to do that as well. Right, so like this said, I have to add this in our extension. So let's go to the atoms, or switch back here, and atom is let me see where the config uh, right is in the where is, oh, it's in source, right? So yeah, okay, yeah, sometimes I forgot extension, so I add one more here. Yep, I want to use the double quote just to be consistent. I'm a bit OCD on this. Right, so and I also have to import the smart query, so let me do some changes to my doc. Modules, I would have the Waco. So actually it's in Waco query, is it? Because Waco query, and here auto class Waco query, and so I just need to maybe add one more auto class there. And this one, oops, I would do a where did I put my smart query? So my smart queries is here, is in Waco query. Waco query init. Do you have it? No, you don't have it yet. So, oh no, you have the Waco class and Waco object. So yeah, so it should be in there. If I do a Waco class and Waco object, so they are exposed. So let's see if we can import that somehow in the docs. So, oh, I don't have doc string. Okay, so I need a doc string to show that off. Okay, so I can't show it right now because I need to write some doc string, so that would take a lot of work. But This is how you do it. So you just put it here in extensions, and that's it. You have to do this off screen. Sorry about that. Wasn't planning that much ahead. So what else could we do? Let's have a look at typing then. Go back to plan A. Um, right. So also callable is actually a function. A function is a callable. So um, also other things like iterator, but like this iterator is also iterable, so they're different things. Mapping, sequence, these are all the types that you encountered. You can be specific about it, so it should be a star, mapping to a star. Um, a logger, so yeah, they're like iterables as well. So iterable should be giving a logged var that is an integer, so you can actually nest these things to create a new type. Um, yeah, so typing is actually useful. Let me add the link to the presentation so you have it if you download the presentation. So yeah, so okay, I think I don't have much to add at this point. So yeah, I would do that after the streaming stops. So let's wrap it up actually. So next week I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet. Yeah, I still haven't decided because I don't want to go into too deep topic yet. Because like you can see what I'm doing right now is like most of them are just overviews, and because like it's a beginner's tutorial, so don't want to dive too deep. I want to give you a kind of a scheme on the surface first before I dive deep down. But I feel like I'm running out of topics that is just beginners. So I don't know. I need suggestions. Please, please, please suggest things. There is the Twitter down there. My Twitter is down there. So please let me know. In Twitter, my DM box is open. Let me know what you want to learn. Um, or just you can reach me on other social medias like Adapto or other means like but Twitter I would check it quite frequently. um, so yeah, let me know if you have any topics that actually I should really talk about, or I would just think of something during the week and let you know. Yeah, so I think that's the basic of hinting that we go through. We have a look at MyPy, we have used it a little bit, we have looked at how to write type hinting a bit, and some of the typing things that you could use. We have looked at how to, import it automatically in the documentation. So yeah, I think that's it for this week. And sorry, I'm still recovering from the holiday. Actually, I'm just like stay at home all the time and um, getting my energy back. I would say it's like I don't know. I feel like the holiday is actually draining my energy. So I'm still recovering. Sorry about that. And yeah, I would actually see you all tomorrow for the Legend of Data. So, yeah, bye.